tribe, welcome back to Bear. This is episode 15 of Open Therapy. Thanks for the support on episode 14. The views are going up little by little, and I've just been getting a lot of positive feedback about that episode in particular. I thought it was a great one. Thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't watched episode 14 yet, please click off, go and watch that one, and then come back. Yeah? Right, just a quick wellness update. I did get back my executive blood test or profile results this week. I don't really know what all of the things on the results mean. The only thing that the doctor said in the email body was that I need to be on iron supplementation for at least 3 months, which wasn't a surprise to me because my iron levels have been low for quite some time. So I need to get on that. I've been taking like iron gummies, but I don't think that's enough. So I'm gonna get back on that. And then there's some other numbers that are lower than the benchmark and higher than the benchmark. And I kind of need to sit down with a doctor to kind of tell me what I should be concerned about. There's one in particular that I'm a little concerned about, but I don't know if that concern is valid. So yeah, I'm gonna have a doctor look through it and discuss it with me. And yeah, but there's what I can pick out, what I was worried about. I was wondering, if there was like cholesterol issues and all of that stuff. I don't know. People were scared of me because I've put on weight. You just assume that, oh my gosh, everything is bad. Well, those things were within benchmark and normal. And yeah, we give thanks. So we'll see. We'll see our journey. And besties, we're going to discuss it. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. Right? It was good. Had a good week. It was not very eventful. Pretty chill week in terms of work and just life, really. A lot of rest. Not finished school. First year of high school down. Woo! That's crazy. But yeah, so that was kind of what my focus was on, just kind of figuring out summer plans for us as a tiny family and also for her while I'm still at work. I'm going to take some time off at some point in the summer where we can do something, but also making plans for her so she's not just twiddling thumbs. So yeah, I'm a little late. Normally the good parents made the plans like back in February. I'm making the plans now, so that's interesting. Yeah, but it's still sort out. It's sort out by now. She have something for July, and I'm sorting out or a little mini thing if it can work. Yeah. Well, you can see that by the title. In today's episode, I want to discuss the loves of our life. The 3 loves theory. Leave a comment down below if you have, any other theories out there, or if you agree with this theory, or if you don't agree with this theory, reach out to me, because I think it's interesting. So the 3 loves theory, what is that? It actually is, let me read. I'm trying to find, okay, yeah. The 3 loves theory. I'm trying to find an official thing to read for you guys. So there's a theory that throughout our lifetime, we will fall in love 3 times. At 3 different stages of our lives, and each love feels totally unique and teaches us something different that shapes the person that we are becoming, right? And look at it, 1, 2, 3. First love, number 2, intense love, number 3, unconditional love. Yeah? How do you guys feel about that? Yeah, I think the theory is interesting. In processing for this video, I've been kind of looking at the different times that I believe that I've actually fallen in love with somebody in my life. And I think I've had relations, connections, situations, little things. Yeah, but significant, I would say 3. So it's interesting. So I thought it was interesting to look at this 3 loves theory now, as I counted out that I've had 3 loves in my life so far, right? And what does that mean, right? What does that mean for me? So there's another article that's saying we can all choose to stay with our first love, the one that looks good and will make everyone else happy, Or we can choose to stay with our second under the belief that if we don't have to fight for it, then it's not worth having. Or we can make the choice to believe in the third love. The one that feels like home without any rationale. The love that isn't like a storm, but rather the quiet peace of the night after. I think that's beautiful. So we're going to look at my 3 loves in my life. The ones that I consider significant. These aren't necessarily the only relationships I've had, the only connections I've had. Relations, situation, you get a picture. But when I think about being in love, like I fell in love with somebody, these are the 3 people that I think about. So first love, this was love in high school. If people know me personally, they will know who I'm speaking about. I would not think that he would be watching this video. If you are, big up yourself, you know yourself. We were together for, I don't know, for about 10 years of my life. We are not in contact right now. We're not really in beef. At one time, I mean, there was a good 5-6 years where we didn't speak at all. And if I saw him on the road, he would walk right by me. I don't think that's the case now. I would hope not. Because we've seen each other in recent enough years. I'm a recluse hermit. I don't go out. So it's not like I would see him regularly out on the town and that kind of thing now in my life. But in recent enough years, we've seen each other and we've healed, and the energy was positive in my eyes, you know what I mean? So yeah, but this is somebody I pretty much grew up with. It feels that way because it was so long. It was on and off. It wasn't a full 10 years, but for 10 years of my life, this was somebody, if I was speaking about a boyfriend or somebody I was in a relationship with, this was who I was speaking about. And this was my introduction to love. And unfortunately, this was also my introduction to a lot of other crap that comes with the first love, you know. There was a lot of struggles, a lot of trying to find my voice, a lot of things that felt wrong, but not being able to speak up or kind of remove myself in a true way because I didn't really know what it was supposed to feel like. So I was kind of forming my own version of love and kind of being like, well, I think this is just what it is. I think this is how love goes. But then you kind of see different relationships. You kind of have different conversations with people. You get the guidance where you can get it. And eventually, the relationship ended. But I just remember, I'm trying to think when I'm going through all of these 3 relationships, and I'm thinking about what made each of them special and unique. The first love, I remember him being very serious. Our personalities were different. It was funny because he was serious, but he was also really jovial. It's very odd. So I remember laughy times, but I also remember very serious times. And he was going through a really rough period of his life for most of when we were together. This was mentally and financially, and I would suspect emotionally. And there, with that comes things like emotional manipulation. I didn't know how to navigate that kind of thing. I knew I loved him. I knew I cared about his well-being. So whatever kind of stress and situation that he was in, I couldn't help him, being unable to help himself at the time as well. So yeah. So that's where the seriousness would come. But there was also, because he was so serious to a lot of people, I think what was unique about our connection was I really held on to the softness that we would have in just me and him times. I thought it was rare, and it became really precious when he was really soft with me. I did feel loved by this person. I did feel cared for. There was not question during those 10 years whether when he said he loved me, if he meant it. And so that was truly, truly special. And I truly cared and loved him and tried to be as best as I knew how. I was a kid. You know what I mean? yeah, I don't know if I was a great girlfriend, but I sure tried because I did love him. Yeah, so that was first love. Second love, intense love. This is the love that comes with a lot of pain and harsh truths and hard lessons. For sure, I think based on the theory, that's what they say, and this is in line with my experience as well. This is, this is a person I had a child with. I think I was just intrigued by who he was as a person. So, I cared about him immensely, still care about him immensely. And what made this kind of different, this connection different from the other, this connection was, it involved a lot of acceptance and a lot of protection on both our ends. So there was a lot of accepting that had to take place on my end and also on his end, because we were very different. I did an episode 3 on an age gap relationship. This is the relationship. So it wasn't even just about the age gap. It was maybe a lot of the difference were related to our different ages. But a lot of other things. I was very open and I like to share publicly things like what I'm doing right now. He was very private. He's in the public eye, so he had an image, and our religious beliefs weren't the same. So there was a lot of coming to common ground, a lot of discussions, a lot of meaningful conversations and acceptance and compromise, and a lot of those hard lessons I learned how to navigate in that relationship, which I think is truly meaningful, and a lot of protection. At one point when we were coming to the end of us, I just remember saying, I just can't fight no more. I just felt like I always had to be fighting and standing up for the relationship, and it became exhausting. I don't think he truly understood that experience for me. We had different experiences in that regard, because he was so closed off and boundaried that people couldn't access. So he didn't really get the pressure from people in having to explain it. I felt a lot of pressure in having to explain it, in having to stand up for it, in having to, make people take it seriously, because this is somebody I was in love with. And was trying to build a future with. It was a lot of fighting, and it was draining and exhausting, but intensely meaningful and beautiful at the same time. So I was very protective of him, and to this day I'm still very protective of him, and he is still pretty protective of me. And I think that says a lot for a connection that even we haven't been romantically involved for several years, but I really don't. There are just certain things, maybe not every single thing, but there are certain things that I 100% trust him with, and I would hope that it's the same for me as well. Third love. Right. So this is the most recent. This channel was started at the end of that one. At the end of that relationship, yeah. How I see love, it depends on how you feel about love and how you see love. I don't think love ends, really. That's not how my love works. So I can't just shut it off, you know what I mean? But I like to think of things in transformations into different things, So this one, it almost make the least amount of sense if you put us on paper. But it's very, very hard to describe the connection without kind of highlighting just how immense and fast the physical bond between us was. And I know how that sound. I know, yeah, I know how it sound. It sound like, oh, so it was just sexing. It was just a sex thing. That's not what it was. And it's really hard to articulate. But it's a physical bond that I didn't have with the other two loves of my life. I haven't had with anybody else. It felt different. Really attached, you know, so a lot, just really attached, a lot of longing, you know. It was immense, like comfort and peace, a feeling of peace, you know. It was hard to articulate, but it was more so felt, you know, just feeling at peace. Yeah. The emotional side of a relationship was definitely the slower burn, definitely where a lot of the work was needed, and you know, what we were working at and building. I don't really know if I was fully myself. It was a pretty short relationship compared to the other two. I mean, it was just about 7 months. So, you know, versus my second one, which lasted about 4 years, I believe. And then the first one, which was on and off for 10 years. So in comparison, there wasn't enough time, you know, for it to be a true comparison, really. Even though you're not supposed to compare them, they're all unique within themselves and different anyway. Yeah. But what made this connection different and unique and special was just the lightness in his energy. Yeah, there was just a lightness in his energy that was different than mine, for sure. My energy can be a little potent, a little heavy, a little more on the serious side sometimes. His energy was just light, you know, sometimes, and that would lead to trying to be like, no, but I get it, but what I said. Yeah, so a lot of our confrontations or really trying to get on the same page had to do with the difference in energy for both of us in that regard. But, you know, in hindsight, that can be complimentary. I just really, there are things I needed that I didn't get, you know. So I can't throw the connection as horrible altogether. There was something definitely unique and special about it. But there were other things I needed that were just deal breakers, you know what I mean? So after this discussion, though, because that relationship ended, it really begs to kind of reconcile within myself whether I've put these in the right places. Because if I want to believe the 3 loves theory, then what is this it for my life? Is there no other? You know what I mean? Or is it that one of these loves that I think was love wasn't really love, and it was something else? You know, those are the kind of questions I have. So I think about the first one. And because I was so young, we met when I was 13 years old. Stopped dating when I was 23. That's a 10-year thing. You know, I wonder if that was really my first, you know. But my second was so in line with the second intense love that it's hard to put that one anywhere else. It's so, if you go by the theory, it is it to a T, for sure. It was the most complicated, the most difficult, the most painful, and yeah, the most intense. But I guess the future will tell if this third one was really love or not. Maybe there's a love coming. Maybe the third love is still on its way, or maybe there's space for this third to transform into something else. Maybe there's a fourth. The one that you don't see coming. You know what I mean? After this theory, after the 1, 2, 3, maybe there's a hidden fourth that you don't see coming. That proves, or that shows that, you know, why it never worked out before with any of those, you know. So there's also that. I'm also that girl who hangs on to, well, maybe, you know what I mean? So I like the theories, but I'm also like, ooh, fear does the magic, the mystery. So I don't know. So yeah, I just really wanted to discuss the three loves theory. I think it's interesting. Maybe I just really want it to be applicable. I don't know why. I like theories. I like the theory, and I like the description of all of them, and I like the feeling of looking forward to a third. So maybe there's something special about our first love, and something heartbreakingly unique about our second, but there's also just something pretty amazing about our third. That's from this is an article on a website called lovewhatmatters.com. Yeah. What do you think about the three loves theory? How many loves have you had in your life? And were you one of the lucky ones who fell in love on the first go and you're married 25 years later? There's also that. There are also people who just got really lucky, you know. So there's that. And then, you know, arguably, is that the really lucky person, or is the lucky person the person who has gone through all the three and learned all the lessons and all the navigation tools and techniques and learned so much about love itself and themselves as people? Are they the lucky ones, you know? That's up for discussion. Maybe this is just something for you to think about. Have you met your third love? Have you met your third love? Do you resonate with the first love, second love being intense, and the third one? I'd love to just see some statistics of people who really found success in this third love that they're referring to. I'd love to see the statistics on that. And I'd love to see the statistics on people who just got really lucky. And there might be people out there who married their second and they're in it and they're fighting for it still. And I'd love to see the statistics on people who actually, in the back of their head, are like, yo, I might no wonder if that third love is out there. You know what I'm saying? Alright guys, that was the episode. A quick short one. This is just a catch up of what I'm thinking about this week. And I will see you next week on the next episode of Open Therapy. Hope you have a good week. Hope you love me because I love you. Bye guys.